And the deck I'm working with today is the Tarot of the Greenwood. And I can't think of the names of the persons, and I keep forgetting to prop the book up by the angel cards where you can see them, because that'll give you more information about the deck for those of you that are interested. Okay, let's plow on. We have here at the bottom of the deck the King of Wands. And Wands is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, like yourself. King can be masculine energy, doesn't necessarily have to be. You'll notice that behind the twisted snakes themselves are representative of the healing arts. We also see a caduceus. I may be saying that wrong, I do apologize, which, as I said, is the symbol of the healing arts. Wands is the suit of fire. Now, these two are in a dominance dance, and that dominance is this is kind of the one card reading of that. So it may be that you're having a difficult time right now with somebody else who's a fire sign, like an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Or if it is you, there may be some area in your life in which you are seeking dominance or having a power struggle. So let's take a greater look, and we'll see what we can here with what's going on. But the card covering you, and this was a jumper, was the Lover's card. And the Lover's card has to do with the balance between two polar opposites. We have the yin, represented by the female, the goddess, the green woman. And then we have the green man here, the god. And that would be the yang of the yin-yang symbol. But again, this has to do with balancing energies, balanced energies. We also see beneath you, same. We see a great deal of balance. But we see also this healer energy in here. I don't know if some of you may be healers. Members of the healing arts, doctors, nurses, therapists, things like that. See how we see that in here? Now, this is about a balance between the energies, and this is about a dominance struggle. Very, very different. Very different. This may be workplace politics. This may be happy home life. Then again, the reverse may be true as well. The balance is something that you have now. This is what's covering you, this influence. The happy family life, having that soulmate partnership, that lover, right? That twin flame person. Crossing you is the Fool card. The Fool has to do with new beginnings, taking risks. Maybe for some of you, it's the case that you're taking a chance on a new person, a new lover that has just come into your life, right? The Fool, in this sense, has to do with taking that blind leap of faith, even though common sense would say, well, don't step off the shelf, or ledge. You need to take care here because you can fall and get hurt. So for you in your own life, you may need to ask yourself, am I making a foolish decision in some kind of a way? If you're making a head and heart decision, maybe it's a caution against being foolish. Then again, if you find yourself in a new love situation, that could be about taking that blind leap of faith. Maybe you've been hurt in the past and you're not really sure what your best choice is. And try not to get caught up in that. This is kind of, I feel like I'm getting two different energies at the same time with this. Now, the Blasted Oak is called the Tower in other decks and has to do with this idea that we've built something that was based on ego, or that we're destroying karmic relationships, whether they're workplace, family, home life, love life, sex life type relationships, and we're having to deal with it. Kind of our hens have come home to roost, or simply that there's, it doesn't even have to be that it's something that we've necessarily done. It could be that we find ourselves in a workplace environment where people are shady around us and they're not honest, and there's manipulation and lies behind the scenes, and we have to stand up for ourselves. That can be a Blasted Oak energy too. So it doesn't always mean that the person's kind of getting what they deserve or any of that kind of thing. But it really does have to do with, if we don't make the decisions and the changes, life will do it for us. And this energy here, the position that it's in is crowning you, which means it may come to pass, or it's kind of on your mind. Maybe you're not sure if you should break up with some kind of a situation. For those of you that have a new somebody coming in, it could be about this fear. Can I let go? Can I trust this person? Or is it going to wind up badly like a previous relationship may have done? Maybe that's what could be going on for some of you. Do I trust here, or am I just putting, good money behind bad? I'm mixing my metaphors now, but so for some of you, it may be, you're trying to get a grip on, is this really a good idea? Is this not a good idea? And worrying about that. But there is a sense of balance here too. So for some of you, you really are finding balance in a love relationship. For others of you, it may be that you're making a decision and that you're still kind of feeling fear-based. Do I take this chance on this love, or am I being a fool to believe him or her that they're not full of it? Right? Now, behind you, we have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands, communication of passion, passionate energy coming in. It can be about movement. Wands is also about Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And we saw the King of Wands over here with the adder. But this was some kind of power struggle, dominance, and so forth. With this Knight of Wands, this fox over here, this could be about magic, manipulation, that sort of thing. The fox is kind of like the magician and making things happen. He can be very charming and seductive, and that can be very positive, or that can be deceitful and scary. But take some time for yourself, go within, spend some time in meditation and reflection, so that you'll know. But part of what we do is we allow our thoughts to go overdrive, and our thoughts get going so fast that we can no longer tell whether or not this is a good idea or something. It's almost like we psych ourselves out. You know what I mean? Like, we think too much. Sometimes we need to learn how to turn off our thoughts, not think about it, and let our gut, our heart, our gut, whatever, give us our best guidance here, right? Now, Page of Wands is similar energy. It's also fire, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. The page can be a younger person, like a child, but oftentimes it's communication coming in, communication of action. So something going on. You'll see this one stoat. A stoat is related to a mink or a marten, a weasel. It's got prey in its teeth. This fox here has to do with this decision, right? This is a fork. Which way do I go with that, right? This kind of a passion coming in. With this can be maybe a communication that's coming in, possibly from a younger person. This is either a prey animal or a baby. I can't really tell. But definitely some kind of growth. Stoat are very family oriented, right? And they have homes with chambers in the ground. They tend to live by water and so on. But these have to do with communications and things coming in. So whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like for you, these can be people that are not yourself. Or they could be the energy that you're operating in a sense. So it may be that some kind of a communication is coming in. And maybe you sort of fear that. You're not sure if that means that you've been building something in a bad way or anything like that. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of devastation or treachery or whatever. I think you may be concerned. Something may be worrying you. This blasted oak may not come to pass, though. It just really depends. This is a communication. How you take it, though, maybe something else. Now, the card representing you, Sag, is the Knight of Stones, and stones represents Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Those are our earth sign people. And the Knight is somebody who's putting it together. You may be working very hard on establishing yourself as a business person, getting your feet underneath you, excuse me, in a material way as pertains to work, building your home, your actual physical home, and putting that energy. Wolf has to do with the pack. Right, the animal pack. So this has to do with your family as well. So there are some of you, you're focusing on your family right now. You're focusing on your business and trying to get ahead financially so that you can better support your family. And that has a lot to do with this energy right here. Again, there may be that kind of a sense of a head and heart decision that you're making. And the idea that you kind of need to take some leap of faith in making your business work better for you. And you may be fearing making a material risk. And I think that has something to do with this blasted oak here. I think there may be something you're thinking that you want to do or need to do vocation-wise And you're kind of concerned because it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And that you're afraid that if you take this risk, that it may blow up in your face. But this is about building. You know, the Page of Wands here, we look at the little family here. And it's about help. It's about love. It's about kinship. And again, with the communication coming in. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything negative. Your environment is about tradition, you know, the things that have made you successful in the past, hard work, dedication. You know, the light from the moon is helping to clarify and helping to light your way. This speaks to me of intuition and being able to manifest some of that with your intuition. And for sure, this tradition that you've done, whether you work with, you know, Reiki or as a teacher or a healer of some kind or whatever that is, you're manifesting, you're putting that down. And note, the wolf has a powerful moon or lunar link as well. So this has to do with your being able to do things and manifest things with your, you're kind of putting the grind to it. You know what, like the hammer and tongs, you know, you're actually doing the physical work of making it happen. You know, but I do think that a lot of you may be healers. I think that's why we're seeing this King of Wands here in a Sagittarius reading, which again, the King of Wands here is the fire sign. So it may be that whatever that is that you do in the healing arts or maybe something related to that, you have the tradition of that behind you. You have that seen. And now you're going out and doing it again, right? You're doing that again. I feel like I'm putting that badly, but I mean, well, let's just say that. Your hopes and fears, boredom. I think you're afraid of being bored. Boredom can turn to anger when we're not very careful. Another way to reframe boredom, though, is to think that, you know, if we were in a war-torn country or if we were literally starving, we would not be experiencing luxury feelings like boredom. And I don't say that to minimize any person's subjective experience of boredom, because boredom is an extremely uncomfortable emotion. But boredom is essential. Every emotion that we have teaches us something that we need to know. And boredom teaches us about the power of setting a vision. Right? Setting our vision for ourselves and striving to attain it. It teaches us about the importance of forward movement. Right? If you've been doing the same old, right? The same old, and it's boring the heck out of you, find a new way to manifest it. See things in a new light. See the light that's coming out of that. Reminds me of an old-fashioned movie projector. You know, see if there's another way that you can make it happen. Think outside the box, even outside this box right here, and see if there isn't something that you can do to help bring your art, your healing art, into a new way. Drink of some of these cups and see if you can't reconnect with your passion. All right, reconnect with your passion, because that's really what it's about. Maybe there's inspiration to be had. Or for some of you, you may be working a little bit too hard, and maybe you need to kick back, and that's sort of the message of the Page of Wands, is you need to be having fun with your family. Getting silly, frolicking, playing. These are very playful animals, Stowed. So is the fox. The fox is also a very playful animal, very family-oriented. So be careful that you're having a good time with that. You know, the lover, the fool. Maybe this is about having a date night and going to a comedy club show. This could be that simple. You know, something like that re-energizes you, and you never can tell. A comedian can make some kind of an offhanded remark about something, and you're like, hey, you know, that kind of, you know, maybe something jars you. You never can tell. But sometimes things will jar you in some kind of a way, and you'll think about something in a new fashion, and that will help you implement something, you know, something you need to do. Maybe you'll develop a laugh therapy as part of your day or your routine. The final outcome is the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is loving energy. Heron is amazing. She's kind of the Jack or Jill of all trades. They have that sense of, you know, it's like they feed in the water sign, and water being emotions. They nest. Depending on which species, some of these wading birds will nest in trees, some of them on the shore. So there's very strongly an earth element. And of course, even the tree is related to the earth because they grow there. They're anchored there. And then, of course, they fly through the sky. So that's the element of air. So they're linking all three of those elements together. And if you've ever seen a heron or especially a crane do a dance, a mating dance, it's very fiery and very passionate. They're amazing, amazing birds to watch. And the Queen of Cups has to do with being able to bring love and joy in manifesting. And for you, this might be a friend. It could possibly be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces person. Then again, it could simply be somebody who has a loving energy to you, like a mother. Maybe not even, it could be your mother, but it could be somebody else's mother, maybe even a co-parent or a parent who's got a kid in your kid's class at school or something like that. But this may be about you being able to connect and move beyond your boredom and to find something that you really feel that joy in. You may be dabbling for a time as you're trying to implement and get your business up and running and going, or as you're establishing yourself in your work routine and getting that life going on for you, even as you're trying to take care of home, hearth, and family. So in order to stave off this boredom, it's going to be about falling in love with your job again. And that idea of falling in love with your job again brings me back to this Lover's card. And it brings me back to this balance. Remembering what it is that you're working for, whether that's your kids and your home and your family life, whether that's for the healing of humankind or for whatever your sacred purpose is, reconnecting yourself with your sense of purpose, creating and maintaining, restoring yourself to balance in your life. And that's another lesson that the heron teaches us, is to find the balance between those different elements, the water, the earth, the fire, and the air. A lot of that can be done to override your sense of boredom. So however that resonates with you, I wish you all the best in that. I will go ahead now and pull an angel tarot card and see what, if any, advice, not if any, they're always there for us when we ask, because that's how they are. They're awesome. But let's go ahead and pull an angel card to see what advice they have for us. Okay, I am going to read these from the book this time for guidance. So we had the Page of Water, and on the front of the card, it states intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life, a relationship begins a new phase, and heightened psychic abilities. Okay, so situations. A new person or emotion-rousing situation enters your life. It could be the start of a friendship or romance, or the renewal of one from your past. A current relationship may enter a new phase. It's important to discuss your feelings with those around you. Your intuition and psychic abilities may also be heightened during this time. If this represents people, it represents a youth who's emotional, intuitive, and sensitive, a person who's gentle, kind, artistic, and sometimes quiet, understanding, friendly, introverted, sympathetic, and romantic. Additional meanings of this card can include love letter, imagination, artistic endeavors, and important dreams. Important dreams. So I am thinking that given your final outcome card, here's the Queen of Cups, and we also have in your future the Page of Wands. It could be that someone's bringing some kind of a message in here, or that you're having a friendship with somebody, possibly a female, not necessarily, but an adult who may be a mother, who's bringing some information in and who's helping you enter a new phase in your career life, being open to the possibilities, right? And also not to disregard, you yourself could be the Queen of Cups bringing in the Page of Wands message, in that as you do reflection and as you maintain your personal balance, you may find that there's a whole new vision for how you can manifest your personal gifts in this world.